All right, you guys. So, about a couple of weeks ago, I made a post in regards to telling you that I was going to tell you my story of how I realized that I was implemented into the program called organized stalking, gang stalking. Okay, so before I tell you my story, I wanted to give more details of what the program is about for those that have a lot of questions. And then I will go into more details of what I actually experienced versus what has been heard. So I was looking online at a website called mylawquestions.com and Googled what is gang stalking just to get their background if anybody did any research. So I came across an article by Maggie J. Hall, which was last updated February 28, 2022. And within reading this, I feel it's the closest and most accurate article or web link, social media link that will fit the theories, the methods, the knowledge of what people are experiencing. So I'm going to read this one to you guys. I'm going to briefly skim through it. And then some parts I'm going to explain my opinion about that or terminology for those that don't know. So let's get into it. And once again, I post a picture of this website as well if you want to read it for yourself. But I wanted to read this before I tell you my story so that those can understand why I'm classifying myself as what they classify as a target. I don't say victim, I try not to say target, but those are the terminologies that were given to classify, to identify what people are experiencing. So here we go. The article is called What is Gang Stalking by Maggie J. Hall. Gang stalking refers to harassment and intimidation tactics used by a group of individuals against another person or towards a smaller group of people. People may intimidate these types of civil offense. I'm sorry, it says indict these type of civil offense because they are intolerant of another person for numerous reasons, which might include different beliefs or lifestyles, jealousy, or racial prejudice. Stalkers generally design the covert methods used for physical harassment to for revenge, to silence, or to cast out persons having opposite views. While gang stalking is considered a misdemeanor in some states, the offense carry felony penalties as well. The number of people involved in the gang tactics or individuals might receive gang intimidation. And when they say gang intimidation or gang tactics, they don't mean the gangs that we are used to as they display as the big time criminals with the I'm from this hood, I wear the red, I wear the blue. They're calling them gangs because the actions that they're displaying is gang tactics, but they're usually just people that are normal citizens that are being lied to, and they form these groups which classified as a gang of people. All right, so they form these different clubs, unities, watch clubs. Okay, so when you hear the term gangs, don't just think of the gangs that you hear the news talking about. It was gang violence. No, it's normal people, business people, doctors. All these people are classified as the gang stalkers. And I'm going to read into give you more information on why. Okay, so it's stated victims are relaying claims of gang stalking perceived that the attackers are well organized groups of people who not only communicate with one another in a central location, but also pursue the target in other areas of means of contact, excessive contact. Leaders generally enlist the aid of other individuals in the gang by various methods, which typically include providing false information about the victim, manipulating the members, are employing those with similar criminal backgrounds. Victims may be formed may be from any gender or any economic, social economic background. These persons may outperform other coworkers or have a set of standards that separate them from other people in the environment. Gang stalking frequently use practices meant to destroy the victim's qualities of life. These acts might include blaming a target for a mistake or taking credit for what the victims accomplished in an effort to discredit a person or to add the attacks that perpetrate the mentally impaired that perpetrate that the victim is mentally impaired or dangerous in some manner, forcing the person to undergo evaluations. Okay, the list of physical tactics used against victims generally include stalking behavior for unwanted attention. The majority of persons under attack report that stalkers frequently mirror the victim's behaviors. Gang stalkers might include mirroring physical gestures or verbal comments. Many victims relay that gang members, once again, that means the gang stalkers, the perpetrators, I'm going to use the word perpetrators, often enter or leave properties in other locations at the same time as the targets. Victims also frequently report that stalkers often repeat private conversations occurring in home environments or over the phone. Gang stalking targets might also experience hang up calls or calls from wrong numbers throughout the day. Attackers may enter homes illegally or employ assistance of the target's friends or family. Okay, in an attempt to confuse the victim or to cause them doubt in their logics and reasoning. Stalkers might want revenge, or they might steal the personal items in the workplace or rearrange the home. The criminal offense of stalkers may become more aggressive or violent against the target, family members, or pets, which is true. So it gets to another topic. It says, is gang stalking real? Gang stalking does not necessarily mean you are being stalked by a street gang. That's the same thing I try to clarify. So that's why when people say gang stalking, they try to debunk it because they're thinking you're like in a Michael Jackson video. Remember, I'm bad, and you're in an underground train station and you about to fight a whole bunch of people with knives and weapons. No, it's covert, where you were not understanding these people are attacking another individual. All right, get back to the topic. Okay, it says the term simply refers to a form of bullying by groups against another individual or smaller groups. Sadly, this behavior is common among school children and teens, especially when the victims are different or stand out in some way. Like they say when people say you are chosen one because you do not fit in. So that might be another reason why you are being targeted. That's my my opinion. Okay, so back to the article. However, it can also happen with adults in the workplace, on college campuses, and other places. There are all kinds of motivations for people to gang stalk another individual. Prejudice, homophobia, racism are certainly among them, but often the reasons are more personal. Envy or jealousy, fear of the other person, intimidation, and other reasons why. Okay, this kind of behavior, known to behaviorists and biologists as mobbing, appears to happen among most mammal species. Gang stalking can take multiple forms. It may be perpetrated by a loose association of people who just happen to have it in for the victim, or it can be a highly orchestrated campaign by a larger group or even an entire community. Gang stalking usually happens in the, it says the brick and mortar world. I don't know what that means. Okay, but it says, but thanks to social media and the internet, it can happen online as well. It's in needed be threats of physical violence under the web based anonymously. Excuse me if I said that wrong. Stalkers can continue to harass people without their knowledge, and you will not know who the stalkers are. Victims may also receive harassing telephone calls. Gang stalking is considered a crime, though it may be a misdemeanor or a felony depending on the jurisdiction and what form the stalking bullying takes. If factors such as racism come into the equation, it may be considered a hate crime, which is a federal offense. Although gang stalking appears to be on the rise, it only seems that way. The good news is that more victims are speaking out and reporting such behavior when it affects them.